Welcome to another episode of Golden Nuggets Tea and Tales, Season 1, sponsored by Husby, served by Riad Gohar.
I'm finally here.
He's finally here. Right. I want to know, in real estate, of course, you're dealing with colleagues, you're dealing with clients, you're dealing with sellers, all sorts of, there's so many moving parts.
Yes.
And all you need is just one crazy client to really spice up the deal. And I know real estate agents have the best stories when it comes to crazy client demands and so on. So what's been your most memorable crazy client?
Okay, it's important to outline that because this purchase is it's a business to customer, it has a lot of emotions part of it. Whether you're buying a property or you're renting a property, you're always emotional. You either have your partner or yourself or you're stressed. So there's a lot of things that happened in your life, and then this is something that should be more pleasurable and fun and so on. And then a lot of, like you said, moving parts and so on. So we get to absorb this, and we have to. So you got to be patient, and you got to. So that's the intro, okay? So you have to be patient and absorb
coming?
all
What's
this.
What's coming?
I mean, I have obviously stories. And some of them are really, I mean, I can't even tell them or say them on camera because they were really, really heart aching and troubling. But the ones that I can say on camera, I would tell you about this lovely gentleman who, about 8-9 years ago, they approached me. I live in the lakes, and they have a house that is nearby that was tenanted and vacant, and then they approached me. They wanted me to sell it. Lovely family, brothers, and all elderly brothers and their elderly father. God bless his soul. They were lovely and everything, but then we found them a customer. We reached a deal. Everything was great. The property itself was under a company, so there was a lot of moving parts to arrange. There were lawyers involved from their side. But the client was an alcoholic. And the abuse that I used to get at 4 o'clock in the morning,
Wow.
the messages, the calls, I would wake up in the morning for the simplest, did you see the email from the lawyer at 4 o'clock in the morning? Did you get a response from, oh, I called you to say hello, you didn't answer me. At 3 o'clock in the morning,
you get the drunk texts.
I'm getting at 3 o'clock in the morning a message, hey, I said good night. Why didn't you reply to me?
Wow. Okay.
Not stuff that's related to mismanagement or because the deal was running through, everything was great. Actually, the delays was from their side because the property was under a company that is owned by a company. So they had to redo a lot of things. But buyer was a cash buyer. Everything was easy. There was no issue at all. Yeah. The father would call me then later, and sometimes it was too much that I would be like, listen, guys, I cannot do this anymore. I don't want the service. I don't want the business. You carry on with your deal, but I'm not involved. I called the lawyers. I said, I don't want to be involved. And the lawyers would calm me down, and they would tell me, like, you know what? We're all going through it.
Yeah.
We all have to be patient.
All right.
And the father, God bless his soul, would also calm me down and so on. And we're talking about an older gentleman. We're not talking about a younger gentleman. And then the next day, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. And so it was an abuse. It wasn't a business abuse. It was an emotional abuse. Right. So it was really draining. We go to the land department, the trustee office, again, showing up drunk. And it was...
What, like drunk, like wobbling?
You can smell everything. It's wobbling. It's aggressive, aggression towards the trustee officer. We had to tame the person. And it's not an alcoholic, that he's an older gentleman. So he's not like, a power, like, like this muscle or so on. We're talking about, he was over 50 at the time.
Yeah.
Right? So it was just troubling. Managed the deal, finished, put it behind, needed some therapy probably. I had to travel somewhere to just unwind.
Get over it.
Yeah. And then I was, just last summer, I was in the North Coast, was, holidaying. And then I get a call from my business partner telling me, hey, we got a call from this guy who, this guy, some guy who knows you very well. He saw you in an article in the newspaper and he wants you to sell his the other house. And please go call him. So I said, okay, I'm going to call him.
Had you blocked him?
No, I don't block anybody.
Okay.
So
he sent me the number. Why didn't he message you?
I don't know, maybe he doesn't have my number or something. No, I think he lost my number. It's been years, you know. So he's reaching out. So my partner gave me the number. And I am putting the phone on, the number
Saving
on my phone.
And it's like, uh-oh.
And I got the name. I'm like, oh my God, no.
Not this guy.
10 years ago, no.
Flashbacks.
Anyways, I'm like, no, thank you so much. I'm not interested. To my partner. He's like, no, you have to. Like, no. Anyways, I go back, please, you have to meet him. So the guy comes to our office and,
he's drunk.
I am like, no. But I'm like, you know, like this, trying to control myself, trying to like ease in and you see, even I'm thinking about it right now. I'm hyper, right? I'm hyper right now in this.
Breathe.
Yes.
Can we get you some water?
So he walks in. I say, hello, how's your dad? Oh, he passed away. I'm so sorry. He's now a little bit sick. I'm so sorry. Okay, what do you need? Okay, I need your help. Sell my property. He sounds calmer and so on. So I'm saying, okay, no problem. I do what I do best. I know how to market properties the best way possible, how to make them look brilliant, you know. But I work exclusive. I'm sorry. I would never give you my loyalty if you're not giving me your loyalty. I'm not interested to work with you, whether you're a buyer or a seller, unless you're exclusive to me. I will represent you the best way possible, better than anyone, better than anything. But exclusivity will actually benefit you more than anything. Your house will be, you know, the language and the communication out there will be one, will be unified. I will make sure the entire market knows about your house and we will do it the best way possible. Agreed? Sign, done. I do what I do best. In less than 2 weeks, I bring in maybe 35, 40 viewings, which is record, right? It's in the Meadows. It's a really good property. So, you know, it's going to attract. But I do it. He gets approached by people telling him lower price. And I like challenges. And he tells me panicking, like, shouldn't we go lower price? No, we're going to get there. Don't worry. Just don't listen to anybody. We're going to get you the higher price. All of a sudden, I travel to do something for 5 days. You know, my partners are, you know, arranging the viewings if I'm away. There's no issue. All of a sudden, while I'm away, I get a call saying that, you know what, I just want to open it up to the market. I don't want exclusivity. I said, we've been 3 weeks advertising it. I've done 40 viewings or so. There is no righteousness in anything like that whatsoever. But if you're going to do this, sorry, I'm not interested. And you can go deal with other agents. I've already done the work. So you're already going to get it on a silver platter, but I'm not interested. I walk away from the deal. I don't mind. I don't mind losing the commission. But sorry, that's my principle.
Yeah.
And you know what? In the US and the UK, you're in the US especially. I don't know about the UK, but in the US, your contract lapses for 6 months after the contract finishes. So the exclusivity. So you have a deal with the seller. After 6 months from the deal finishing, even if he sells it to anybody, he still have to pay you.
If he sells it to anybody that you showed it to,
regardless, if he sells it to anybody, during a 6 months, it's a 6 months. I don't know what you call
exclusivity.
No, after if he cancels
post contract.
Yeah. So there is a period. I don't know what they call cooling period or something.
Not cooling period.
Whatever that period that if he sells it, they have to honor the payment because all the marketing and everything that you've done, you know, it makes sense.
Yeah.
He cancels the contracts and then, you know, you can easily get the title deed and you put in the details and they check if the property has a Form F MOU signed on it or not. And I see that there is. I don't know who's the buyer, but it might have been a buyer of one of the buyers that I've shown through an agent or something like that I've shown. You never know. Saving commissions here, but you know what? God bless you. Go for it. I shouldn't have listened. I shouldn't have taken it again because I knew that something
drama was going to happen.
But yeah, I mean that was. So
it's like trust your instinct.
Yes, trust your instinct.
Okay.
That's probably one of the most because there's every obstacle there's a solution for it. You have to find solution. That's why you've been appointed to be as the broker, to broker a deal, it's not just showing a property. Anybody can show property. Not anybody, but a lot of people can show, but you gotta manage all obstacles, all moving parts, all the emotion associated and so on.
And all the drunk texts at night.
That's what you should not manage. And that is what my lesson here is, that I would not accept verbal abuse, emotional abuse. I can handle anything, problems that has to do with the house or the deal, or problems between two parties, and you manage expectations and you try to find solutions and so on. But verbal abuse and emotional abuse, it takes you to us, because sales people are emotional people. That's why we're good at what we do, because we are emotional. We take, when you see me showing a house, you will feel excited about the house. You'll feel like as if this is the only house in the world and I love it and that's it. So that because we're emotional people, we also get easily triggered and attached, and it could hurt our feelings, So yeah. So I was
do you
hurt.
think people kind of like don't really take real estate agents too seriously? And why do you think that is? Like, what would your message be to all the end users or buyers out there when it comes to treating real estate agents?
Look, there's no what do they say? There's no smoke without fire, right? So it's unfortunate that the few give
the bad
to the many, and there's a lot of great brokers out there, and desperation, it comes as a point where people would accept any deal and anything, false promises, wrong information, not mismanagement, all that stuff is happening. And of course the RERA is incredible. I mean, one of the best in the world that they control, and they try to control in a very short period of time. They implemented so many rules and regulations, and they actually executed them and executing them all the time, and it's faster than anywhere in the world. I mean, countries built 200, 300 years, 400 years, and they're still unable to manage these, all these, hustles and all that stuff. But the clients as well need to understand that they best serviced when they are managed by one person.
Yeah.
Exclusivity works everywhere in the world. Why wouldn't it work here? And it gives more trust, and it also buy your loyalty of a customer. And unfortunately, a lot of sellers, there are some sellers that are putting in a broadcast, and then they sell to the mass, and they expect that they would do very well. Sellers and buyers, and I think they know more than the agents. I'm sorry, you don't. Whatever you think maybe you know more than some agents, but you don't know more than the agent who's specialized, who's seeing every single day buyers and sellers, who knows the transaction. It's not good enough to just go and see some numbers, and based on these numbers you don't know what's behind these numbers. What are the properties, what are their status, and so on. So you know well in what you do in your career, in your industry.
Trust the professionals.
Trust the professional, and they will serve you very well. The point is trust. So find someone you trust, and then you will do very well. And that's what agents also need to provide. Walk away from the deals if somebody is not giving you exclusivity.
Yeah.
Deal with other agents as well. I love dealing with agents. I will always charge my seller a commission. I'm never gonna be afraid. Some agents are afraid to deal with other agents because they want to keep their commission.
Yeah.
Well, if you deal with me, I'm always charging my seller. You don't even have to ask. I'm never going to touch your commission. If it's a buyer commission, I'm never going to touch it. Regardless of how much I'm making, I'm never going to touch yours. So, but agents should work together. It's the best way. I mean, we represent one party, the other person represent one party. Negotiation is easier. Everything is more transparent and smooth, So yeah,
Brilliant.
These are...
some golden nuggets there.
Golden nuggets there, right? Cheers to that.
Drop your craziest client stories in the comments. Thank you.